Hello everybody and welcome back to Metroid, the NES game, except slightly different. As you saw there, this was done with the Metroid-Database. I believe Infinity's End is the one who actually did this. It is mostly, as you can see here, a graphical hack. He did stuff with, obviously, the enemies, Samus. He did stuff with the running animation. Nice looking Morphball. And there's actually also, I guess, some difference in the bosses. I guess they're not quite the same, so we will find out about that. Screens look a little weird. But otherwise, this is basically the same game, I guess, otherwise. And that's actually what a lot of the, well, maybe not a lot of, but quite a few of the original Metroid hacks are just graphic hacks. That's one thing, it's the NES. So, doing stuff, and I guess Metroid isn't that big on the NES as far as things like a game you can hack. Like, there's quite a few Mario hacks, Mario Brothers 3. Those are a lot more popular for. And I guess even on the Super Nintendo, you see a lot more Super Mario World hacks than you just see Super Metroid hacks. Although there are quite a few of those too, so. Which is good. So if you're familiar at all with Metroid, those look like those rippers or lettuce burgers or something. I don't even. Or lettuce wrap or something. It looks like they're a bun over green stuff. They look like floating veggie burgers or something. I don't know. Anyway, if you're familiar with Metroid at all, you'll know exactly where to go. I guess I should also mention there's a Lua script. I should have looked this up. Wrote it down somewhere so I could just say it like I know stuff. But there's a Lua script that's suggested to run with this. That gives you, and I have run it before. But it gives you a little mini map and stuff. It's interesting, all that. I don't care for much for it. It might actually make the energy thing actually say energy, if I remember correctly. That's kind of interesting. That's like the phonetic spelling of it. N-R-G. It's just interesting. Yeah, I guess we get to see the graphical talent here of Infinity's End. And that's some party acid down here. That is the most interesting. I actually kind of like that. There's actually a lot of very neat stuff you can do, or I think you can do with the 8-bit graphics and all that. And I am getting murdered by Skrees. There's, I guess because there's less detail you can put into it. And you get all kinds of lights when you turn your missiles on. But there's less details you can put into an 8-bit thing, say against 16, 64, or whatever. Whatever it is now, who knows what. I don't know, because I'm still stuck on the SNES. But anyway, because of that, people get more clever with their workarounds and how to do stuff. Like differentiate between visuals. Which is why, like with the original game, when you turn missiles on, there was no real way to know you had them on, so they just like, well, just do a color swap. And that solved that issue. Which of course with the Game Boy, with the Metroid 2, kind of had to change because there was no palette to swap, so they had to have a visual thing in there. But they had a little bit more detail to the suit and all that. Those doors look a little flat. Come here, you Geemers. They look like they have crystals sticking out of their head. Oh hey, I chose orb. And a Zero Mission statue. And a long beam. So yeah, all the items and stuff should be in the same place. I mean, we've already seen the layout is the exact same. Basically, what the entire thing with it is, it's a graphical hack. And lettuce leaves look interesting. They still look very much like lettuce leaves. A little bit different. Back here, you. And I guess now we gotta go back and get bombs. So because this is basically everything's the same as the original, room-wise, if you ever went secret world exploring, you could do that with this one. I'm pretty sure pretty much anything in the that you could do in the original, you should be able to do in this. Unless for some reason the bosses are like really different, changed, and all that. And running across one of their rooms, or I guess Ridley's room in a secret world might be an issue, I don't know. Yeah, those doors look a little flat. It's like there's this slow curve around all the way through the door, and then they just cut. I did not want to use my missiles. I need to pay attention more to my keyboard. It's the same layout I use with Super Metroid, so I don't have to change what my hand position or whatever just because I'm lazy like that. But obviously there's different buttons for things. There is no run in Metroid. There's no item cancel or anything like that. And even with like regular Super Metroid hacks, I have to be careful because like, select an item cancel and fear with the HUD I have mess with that whole system there. Whereas in other hacks, there really is not one. I don't think there's one out right now that has a different HUD, so they select an item cancel, do what they're supposed to do in the first place. So every now and then I get myself confused. Oh, that's an interesting energy tank thing. I do like the little acid stuff on there though. That's one thing. Like with the more detail you can put into stuff, you kind of like lose like some of the, I don't know exactly how to put this, I guess originality. Maybe that's not quite the right word or something, but you like lose some of the effect of like less resolution to whatever, because well, you can make it more detailed, so you just throw more stuff in. It's like, well, this is like to differentiate, you change a little bit around or something, so things maybe look a little more similar. There's less, in some ways I think there's less creativity the more resolution there is. In some ways, it's not saying more resolution is a bad thing at all, but in some ways I think because with the limitations you have to get a lot more creative sometimes. Okay, now we got bombs, we can pretty much, bombs, missiles, we can pretty much go anywhere. And so, out of here, you little Geemer behind the bush. And yeah, I just ran into the lettuce leaf like a genius. And I keep going around through here. I used to think this music was like the creepiest thing I ever heard. Because there's like no constant sound. Well, I guess technically there is, but it seems like there's a lot more quiet space in there. I kind of miss that theme in like Super Metroid hacks. They don't seem to, or in Super Metroid, I guess in general, since music hacking in Super Metroid is not really good grief. Try jumping next time. I'm not actually sure there's any sort of music hacking. Actually, I take that back. I believe Snurf. I'll just say Snurf. He's the guy who made Met-Edit, or Editroid, I guess I should say. I don't know if he made Met-Edit or not. But he's made Editroid, and I believe he has some thing out with music editing and Metroid. I'm not entirely 100% sure about that. But I do believe right now music editing in the NES Metroid is more possible than in Super Metroid. Even though I guess Super Metroid is technically not hard to do. It's just learning how to do it. I guess that's the big issue with that. But there is progress being made on that, so eventually maybe it'll become easier where you can just throw stuff, make random stuff. You could put themes in from other games and whatnot. Which I find kind of, in a way, is kind of silly. Like with Super Mario World, there's a whole bunch of music editing or whatever in that game, and what people do with that, I think, is kind of silly. Because a lot of times, like, oh well, I can edit music. Let me throw in this remix or this theme from a different game. It's not really making anything new. You're just like, oh, I just want to use this song here because it's different. Or it's also possible to just like it better. There's nothing wrong with that. It just seems kind of silly that music editing isn't really music editing. It's more just swapping out themes from other games and putting them in. And it's not even just like within Mario, like Super Mario. It's not even just adding Mario 3 themes in, or adding some of the newer themes, and it's just, oh, pick it from Final Fantasy and throw it in. So you would just grab something from somewhere and put it in there. And that, to me, there's a little bit of silliness in that. But, I'm not saying it's bad, it just seems a little weird sometimes. I also think about things too much. And it's nice to see the bubbles have not changed and the palette's still wonderful. Let's get rid of maybe. Oh, I think he might have. Oh, hey. I think he might have done something with these things a little bit too. Made them a bit more deadly. Ouch, good grief. Stop. 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 Thank you. Yeah, those things are... when they function like that, they are much more of a threat than... Oh. Yeah, I'll just let myself get hit in the face. It looks like they're throwing baseballs at me. I know this is completely off topic or whatever, but with baseballs, it's like the charging chuck enemy in Super Mario World. Like, why in the world did they throw in an enemy based off of American football? And on top of that, he will throw baseballs, which is an entirely different sport. I don't even... Whoever came up with that idea was... I don't know. It seems like something I would come up with. Tell my brothers, like, oh, I want to put this over here. I'd be like, you're just that's stupid, get out. It seems like that kind of idea, but, well, I went with it, so. I'm sure there's an official story about that somewhere, and everybody knows it, I just haven't seen. Hi. Yeah, those things look a whole lot like baseballs. I'm not sure if that was intentional, but That's what they look like to me. I don't want to die. Okay, stop. Good grief. Let me see. If you can drop me a big energy dot, that would be nice. Don't. No, I didn't want to. No. Well, this is going well. I just need a big energy dot to get back where I was. Get back here. Come on. And he dropped 5, of course. Of course, I shouldn't even bothered. Let's see if I can get something off this little Nova. Well, that was something. It's not quite something I wanted, but... And he just dropped nothing. Well, this is going to be fun. That's right. You drop me a big energy dot if you will. Or nothing, that's works too. This is going to be fun. Ouch. Okay, maybe that wasn't fun. Be a very strange definition. And good grief, there's another one. No, that was... Well... Welcome back, everybody. That is... Okay, well, I guess that kind of warped me where I wanted to be anyway. Now, I may be wrong about this, but I think the Lua script may start you out with full energy, or at least 99. I may be wrong about that. I know there's an actual hack where that's basically, that is the only thing that it does is start you out with 99 health, or full energy when you start, instead of 30. And I know that 30 energy seems kind of bad and all, but... And admittedly it does cause some issues, like later in the game if you die in terrain, guess what? You have 30 energy where you start there. And you need a little more than that to survive and beat it. So, like in that instance it creates issues, but I really don't mind it that much. It is an NES game, to be honest. This was back when games weren't super easy. And get back in here. But yeah, I mean it's also, understandably so, a little bit of a turn off for some people because, well, it is harder. It doesn't care about being harder. Complain about being harder, it just throws more harder in your face, like this bomb spot. Go exploring around everywhere and, oh, hey, there's a spot on the floor you have to bomb. That doesn't really look any different. And the only hint is you can't really go anywhere. So, yeah, bomb the floor and find something. We'll go back here, grab high jump, we'll get the stuff back behind high jump too while we're here. Just be another trip. I kind of like the glowing lights with the missiles thing. It says the whole suit being a power swap. And I know nothing about Metroid editing with the NES or whatever. That's an interesting fuzzy thing. But I'm pretty sure with the palette swap, if I know my NES games at all, I'm pretty sure with the palette swap, like with the original, you know, your suit turns purple or whatever it is, and that didn't work. I think I can do it from here. Oh, yeah, that was easy. Okay, but the whole suit, like, turned color. And this is just, like, the green lights turn lighter green, more yellow. That's, I think, not that hard, because he just, I believe there's like 4 palette colors and a line or whatever. And so he used the 3 everywhere else, and then the green is the one that was like the original entire suit was made out of, which caused the entire suit to change color. I'm pretty sure it's all it did. I could be completely wrong, because again, I know nothing about Metroid editing, and I really don't know anything about Super Metroid editing. I just kind of make it up as I go along and end up breaking stuff. Oh, hey, I could use that. And might as well come up here, grab Screw Tack before exploring the rest of the place, because if you can grab Screw Tack to make exploring other places easier, and you pass it just because you can get on the way back, that's... I don't... No, that's just wrong. Don't... Good grief. I really wish I got out where these guys were spaghetti. It makes life so much easier. And a red statue and our wonderful looking Screw Attack. So with our new spin jump animation that was made, should look quite interesting. And of course you just leave me nothing, and I don't want to die. That would be... I've already died once. I filled my quota, go away. And actually, the video is getting pretty long, so I'll actually be stopping it here shortly, because that way I don't have a 4-hour-long video. So we will see you for the next one, where we keep on exploring back behind high jump boots. We'll grab away from some more missiles and an energy tank.